20 on me, case emergency. Ain't no cap in my rap. Real I know it's the truck. More profit mean extra. Emerald white out full of pressure. That cereal milk smoking right. But that Obama rent some special. Kansas City, I'm a chief. Shout out to K5 on new one. Country thuggin', I was hustling. I always had it on me. Booming like OJ the Juice. Till a nigga told on me. From now on, it's relentless. Ain't no love, we ain't friendly. If she want me on him. No the law, she get the business. No the law, still the motto. Empire.
Hello. It's your boy Q City, and we are here for the first inaugural episode of the Birds of a Feather podcast. I'm a huge Atlanta fan. You know, Hawks, Braves, of course. I see the boys out there doing a thing against the Brewers and the Falcons. One of the things I've noticed is that Atlanta's fan base seems to be wide around the city, but it's not as rabid as places that you consider, you know, huge fan bases, places, you know, that are hard to play, places that kind of leave something to be desired in the fan base here in Atlanta. And I'm one of the people who consider myself a very avid fan, someone who dives deep into the game, someone who wants to get to know so much about the players, the schemes, the coaches, and everything going on in the in and outs. And I want to bring you along on that journey. I want us to be a crazy fan base together. And that really prompted me making this podcast, to dive deep into some of the games, some of the things going on around the league, both leagues. This will mainly be a football and basketball podcast. And I want to be able to grow with you. I want to be able to see something different in Atlanta sports. So, last game, we traveled over to London, facing the Jets, right? Terrible team. So, everybody's thinking, easy win, right? You look at the score of the game, it's 27-20. And I love it. You love the win. You know what I'm saying? You never look at it as a bad thing if you are able to get a win in. But one of the things I didn't like was, one, how close the game was, and two, how much we utterly dominated to then let this team back into the game. So we can go down the list just to start off a little bit. Opening drive, you go down, you get 3 points. All right, you know, you're up decently. You get a stop because the Jets are the Jets. You come back down, you have a nice long drive culminated by Kyle Pitts' first touchdown of the year, which is a travesty within itself. But, hey, you got a touchdown. I'm loving it, loving the enthusiasm. You come back again. You get another touchdown. You're up 17-0 at this point in time. If I told you at any point in the game that you would be outscored by the Jets 20-10, you would have a whole fit, because you know good and well that there's no reason this team should have a 20-10 run on you. What are you doing that this team has a 20-10 run on you? But that is what happened. We just had the points to withstand it. Now, I understand you want to get a little conservative. You want to look at it a bit differently and passively, that, hey, we had a lead, want to protect the lead, run the ball. Cordell Patterson has been amazing this season as an all-purpose guy. But not keeping your foot on the pedal is not only what cost us countless terms of comeback victories, but it also lends to the morale of the team. You can't tell me with a straight face you weren't getting tight as the Jets started driving late in the game. When they get to 17 and they're kicking a field goal, that your butt just doesn't clench a little bit, because you know we have a history of blowing leads. Hell, we did it the week before. Just the week before. Now, I'll be the first one to say I wasn't a huge Arthur Smith hiring guy. I figured he was decent, you know what I'm saying, but I personally wanted Eric Bieniemy. It's not a racial thing. I just think Kansas City's offense was definitely more explosive, more fluid, and I personally thought we were going to get someone like Justin Fields in the draft, Trey Lance. I understand the cap situation with Matt Ryan. So, hey, you can't really move off him this year, and it doesn't make sense to waste a year on a rookie quarterback, on the rookie quarterback scale, if you're not going to play the guy. I get it. So you stick with Matt Ryan, you pick up Kyle Pitts. The fact that he's been targeted as much as he has and has low touchdown numbers shouldn't be surprising to anyone at all. Have you watched a guy, I don't know, named Julio Jones for the past 6-7 years? Matt Ryan has been able to consistently get him the ball, and he racks up yardage, but struggles finding him for touchdowns. And do you know why? Because you have a timing and precision-based offense. Now, if you look at Arthur Smith, he has a shot offense where you pound and ground, play action, you go for shot plays. Matt Ryan doesn't have that arm. So you're not going to have those huge, deep passes in which you find tight ends in the middle of the field, and they're able to run for consistent yardage. One play that was amazing was that behind the back grab that he had on a safety that ended up being called back for, I'm pretty sure, holding on a play action. Matt Ryan was about to get destroyed, and Kyle Pitts made a great catch that didn't count. But if you look back, that was one of the best plays of the game. Totally showed off his athleticism. It was a shot play. But even then, you see Matt Ryan deliver the ball behind the guy. Now, I love Matt Ryan. Best quarterback in Atlanta Falcons history with respect to Mike Vick. But week 14 last year against the Chargers, minute 30 left, he throws an out route to, I believe, Calvin Ridley. 5-step drop, balls on time, receivers on time. He lets it rip. It gets intercepted. It's because he didn't have the arm for it. Love Matt Ryan. The arm's gone. You know the arm's gone. He just came from being in Tennessee with Tannehill. Big arm, big plays, shock plays, and one of the best running backs in the league. You don't have that in Atlanta. And you know you don't have that in Atlanta. And so he's trying to supplement it with like all-purpose guys. I understand Calvin Ridley wasn't on the field, and neither was Russell Gage. So your receiver core was limited. But your top two receiving options being out, being the only reason you finally utilized Kyle Pitts and the way you promised to utilize him, being that he was the 4th overall pick in the draft, it leads me to just believe that this is shoddy play calling. This is a guy who is trying to piece together an offense because instead of looking at what he has, he's dreaming about what he wants. But I digress. I look at the team and I think, okay, we're able to consistently mount leads, which means we can hit often and we can hit early. Outside of the Philly game, we scored. Not as high as a clip as you would want from a team that's really offensive based because, let's face it, outside of AJ Terrell, Debo, and Grady, defense is a bunch of meh. I like Alua Khan, you know what I'm saying? I definitely think that he can be a rotational piece at linebacker, but our safeties, bless their hearts. Like, that's got to be a first-round pick, but I haven't delved deep enough into the college ranks to tell you what looks like, what safeties look like. But we definitely need to upgrade the safety position. And anybody who's been watching Falcons football knows good and dang well that we need, say it with me, a D-end. Needed one since John Abraham. You know what I'm saying? So at some point we'll be able to consistently get a pass rush, but I digress. We're a team that's offensively driven. Putting up 27 points, not bad, especially in an NFL game. They're usually decided by 3 to 3.5 points. So you're looking at 27. You got to hold the other team to 24. That's beautiful. I think for the season, we're averaging right around 21. It's not going to cut it. Not going to cut it, especially when you specifically hired an offensive coach. Now, like I mentioned, you're a little limited at quarterback, so I understand that certain concepts and plays can't be put into the game. But a lot of the gimmicky stuff on second down that puts us in third and longs, knowing that we can't consistently get third and longs, is just, it's a no for me. It's a no. Especially when you have Cordell consistently running the ball. I love the shock plays on first down. He is killing those, and I hope that he continues it. But I would like to see a little different play calling from Arthur Smith. This is only, his 5th game into his tenure. I'm interested to see how the rest of the season goes with him. Overall, I like the last game. Can't be mad at a win. But it did leave a lot to be desired against one of the worst teams in the league. So usually around this point, I would preview next week, and we have a bye. As you can tell, I'm on CP time, so I started my podcast a quarter into the season. So I think the easiest thing to do is look back. So our first game played the Eagles. Anybody who watched that game knows good and well how bad we played against the Eagles. We can sit over here and try to parse words, mix it however you want to. Jalen Hurts isn't that good of a quarterback. And we made him look like an all-star. If you look at subsequent weeks, like he lit up the Chiefs defense, but come on now. Everyone's been lighting up the Chiefs defense. And other than that, he's looked subpar at best. And so all I can say on that is maybe we just call it a mulligan, call it an extra preseason game, however you want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? We just got to understand the fact that we shit the bed on that. We did. Next, you're looking at Tampa. 2 pick sixes changed that game. Everyone knows it. You know what I'm saying? Those back-to-back pick sixes. One of them definitely Matt's fault. The other one not really. There's not too much you can expound on it. At one point in the game, it was 28-9, and the Falcons came back for a little bit. 2 pick sixes. You lose the turnover battle like that, you're not going to win too many games. Now, you look at when we faced the Giants. We absolutely needed that game, and hell, I'm glad we got it because it was touch and go there for a minute. Convert 2 late scoring drives, get out of there with a dub. And now here comes Washington. Yet again, another game where we let go of a big lead late. And if you've been a Falcons fan as long as I have had, you never feel safe, no matter what kind of lead. Anyone could talk about, the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, 28-3. Ha, 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 he, all the jokes. But it's not just the Tom Brady Super Bowl. It's being up 14 with 6 minutes left and somehow finding a way to lose. Now, some of it you could blame on Dan Quinn. His coaching decisions were terrible. I was watching the game when they played Dallas in Dallas, losing that big lead. We were up 20 and went for 2. I'm going to say that again. We were up 20 and went for 2, meaning you already knew that at some point you was going to give this lead up. It's a mindset thing. And I truly believe that the core of this team's mindset is broken in terms of giving up leads. And sadly, it's on the defense. We've already gone over New York. And so looking forward, we're going to be in Miami for the next week, and I'll detail that next week. So right now we're looking 4th in division. The hated Saints are right above us with 1 game. I don't trust Jameis Winston, not for a day in my life, and I never trust Sam Darnold, even, like back when he was with the Jets, even when he came out of USC. So I definitely expect the Panthers and Saints to fall in the standings. I view both of them as around 9-win teams, and I don't see any reason the Falcons can't get to double digits. So if you're looking at them, they both can't be 9, so maybe you're looking at 9, and if I had to choose, I would say the Saints end up with about 7 wins. Falcons at 10, and the sadly world champion Bucks are at 4-1 right now, and they look to be rolling. If we're honest, they're gonna sweep the Falcons this year. I look at it and maybe split with the Panthers, and we gotta sweep the Saints just because they're the Saints. Our division isn't overly tough this year, but we do have decent quarterback play. Sam Darnold's like leading the league in rushing touchdowns. Weird as hell. We faced Jameis plenty of times with the Bucks, but it's just he's a give or go quarterback. Like, he's either gonna give you a touchdown or give the ball away. Like, it's no in between with him, and you just gotta accept that's the kind of guy he is. Most of my betting information comes from FanDuel and fantasy sports. And seeing as we don't have a game this week, I don't have any betting advice to give out. But, hey, always take over and unders. It's fun to bet. It's legal. Some people view it morally reprehensible. Some people view it bad. I don't. I feel like gambling's fun. It keeps you engaged in the games. And, hey, you put a little skin in something, might win some pizza money. So one of the last things I want to talk about is City Talk. I'm QCity11 on Instagram. Quentin Hagen's on Facebook. And if you're listening to the podcast, I encourage you to reach out. I want to hear about it. Ask me questions in the DMs, and let's talk about some of the things that you really care about with the Falcons. I love to dive deep on game film, and I want to hear more about what you view about this team. Share your passion with me. So once again, that's QCity11 on Instagram. Probably the easiest place to hit me up. Quentin Hagens on Facebook. And I guess I should get on Twitter sometime soon. So thanks for listening to this podcast. I appreciate it. I hope you guys come back, become regular listeners. Once again, this is Birds of a Feather. Go Falcons.
Keep a 20 on me, case emergency. Ain't no cap in my rep. Real I know it's the truck. More profit mean extra. Emerald white off full of pressure. That cereal milk smoking right. But that Obama rent some special. Kansas City, I'm a chief. Shout out to K5 on new one. Country thuggin', I was hustling. I always had it on me. Booming like OJ the juice.